very good evening and welcome to the midweek edition of Prime TV News with me, Ishara. Now, Tuna, let's get started with your top stories for the day. Japan extends fuller support to counter terrorism. Sri Lanka to give effect to UN Security Council resolutions to counter terrorism and extremism. NTJ links of the Kingsbury suicide attacker revealed. Showery weather continues. Hong Kong protests escalate. And now for your stories in detail. Japan emphasizes that fuller support will be extended to Sri Lanka to encounter the threat from global terrorism. This was stated when State Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan, Toshiko Abe, called on Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The meeting between the Premier and the Japanese State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Toshiko Abe, was held at Temple Trees. The Prime Minister commended the Japanese support given for Sri Lanka's defence sector. The two countries have already drawn attention on signing a defence pact. The State Minister of Japan highlighted that the new pact will be crucial to tackle terrorist activities operating at the international level. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe explained about the joint counter-terrorism plan combining India, the Maldives and Sri Lanka. He noted that a discussion was held with the Indian leader Narendra Modi in this regard. During the discussion, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Toshiko Abe exchanged views on several development projects, including road development that are to be implemented in the island nation with the support from India and Japan. Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Akira Sugiyama, and several other key officials were present at the event. The Foreign Ministry says Sri Lanka is to give effect to the UN Security Council resolutions to counter terrorism and violent extremism. Tangible measures to collaborate with UN mechanisms in keeping with international norms and practices took centre stage at discussions during the recent visit to Sri Lanka by UN Assistant Secretary General and Executive Director of the Counter-Terrorism Executive Directorate, Michelle Connix. The ASG paid courtesy calls on President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and met with other political and civil society leaders. The Assistant Secretary General's visit also explored further measures that need to be taken for Sri Lanka to be compliant with international counter-terrorism obligations. President Maithripala Sirisena paid his last respects to late Chief Sanganayaka of the southern province, Agamaha Pandita Most Venerable Palatra Sumanajoti Thera today. The President visited the Maligaspe Sri Subhadrama Viharya in Gaul and paid his last respects to the mortal remains of the Venerable Thera. The President also put a note on the visitor's book in the temple. He exchanged views with Mahasangha who were present at the funeral. The final rites was conducted at the Samanla Stadium, Gaul, this afternoon. The Met Department announces that prevailing windy condition, particularly over the northern half of the island, and showery condition in the southern western part of the country is likely to enhance to some extent during next few days. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western, southern, central, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces. Heavy falls about 100 millimeters can be expected at some places, particularly in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Gaul and Matra districts. Several spells of showers may occur in Badulla, Anuradhapura, Vavuniya and Mannar districts. Strong gusty winds up to 60 kilometers per hour are likely in northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee, Matale and Hambantota districts. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 50 kilometers per hour are likely in the other parts of the island. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the sea areas off the coast extending from Mannar to Hambantota via Puttalam, Colombo and Gaul. Naval and fishing communities are requested to be vigilant in this regard. The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation has implemented a special transport plan in line with the Poson Festival.
The transport plan is carried out in between 14th and 18th of this month as a concerted effort of the SLTB, the Railway Department and the National Transport Commission under the guidance of Minister Arjuna Ranatunga. 16 new buses will be deployed covering Colombo, Kandy, Rajarata, Gampaha and Wayamba during the Poson season. The authorities are ready to dispatch more buses if necessity arises. Though inter-provincial bus services end up in Anuradhapura during the Poson season, the services will continue to Mihinthalaya. The Railway Department is scheduled to add special trains from day after tomorrow for the convenience of devotees who visit Anuradhapura and other sacred areas. Meanwhile, the Excise Department announces that all liquor shops island-wide will be kept closed on the Poson Full Moon Poya Day. In addition, liquor outlets in the Anuradhapura district will be kept closed from tomorrow to 19th of this month, according to the media spokesman of the Excise Department, Deputy Excise Commissioner Kapila Kumarasinghe.
Minister of Education Akhila Viraj Karivasam says the policy decisions that have been taken on the country's education sector will continue as scheduled. Akhila Viraj Karivasam was speaking at the opening of the newly constructed, fully fledged auditorium of the Ministry of Education. The cost of the project is 30 million rupees. The minister stated that systems of the Ministry of Education was automated during past few years and people can obtain education certificates using online service within a shorter period of time, accessing from any place all over the world. Providing tab computers to school children has been a successful venture. He also stressed that the national policies on education should not be changed in the face of changes in the administration. Several foreign countries have decided to lift travel warnings issued on Sri Lanka. Due to the Easter Sunday terror attack, several countries had imposed travel warnings to their citizens when touring in Sri Lanka. At present, Switzerland, Germany, Sweden, the UK, France and the Netherlands have lifted travel warnings due to the increase of security level in the island nation. Sri Lanka has been one of the most sought-after tourist destinations in the world. Ambassador of the United States of America in Sri Lanka, Elena Teplitz, met Minister Mano Ganeshan in Colombo. The meeting was held at the Ministry of National Integration, Social Progress and Official Languages. Minister Mano Ganeshan said that the discussion was focused on reconciliation and coexistence among different communities living in Sri Lanka. Newly appointed Sri Lanka Freedom Party organisers received their letters of appointment from President Maithripala Sirisena at the President's office. Former Minister Jeevan Kumara Thunga has been appointed as the electoral organiser of the Kasbava division. The new appointments have been made in line with the restructuring programme of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Sri Lanka Freedom Party Senior Vice President Nimal Siripala De Silva, Sri Lanka Freedom Party General Secretary Dayasiri Jayasekara, Mahinda Amaravira, Lasantha Alagiyavanna and senior members were also present on this occasion. A special program is being carried out by the government to uplift the life of the former LTT members who have been integrated into the society after rehabilitation.
The authorities have put forward a plan to improve livelihood of the families of former LTT combatants by introducing self-employment opportunities. The project has been launched by the Rehabilitation Commissioner's Office. 39 former LTT combatants were granted equipment for self-employment under the patronage of District Secretary of the Trincomalee, N.A.A. Pushpakumara. Meanwhile, another group of 16 rehabilitated LTT members were given self-employment equipment at the Divisional Secretariat of Vavuniya. The event was attended by Follow-up Coordination Officer of Rehabilitation Activities, Colonel K. Fernando and several other officials.
During the investigations carried out by the police, it has been revealed that the suicide bomber who attacked the Kingsbury Hotel in Colombo had direct links with National Tawhid Jamaat organization since 2014. The Criminal Investigation Department informed about the progress of the investigations to the Ford Magistrates Court today. The suspect Mohammed Azam Mohammed Mubarak, alias Abdullah, and several other suspects who had been living in the Ediramulla and the Nindawur areas had received armed training at a camp in Norelia. The CID informed the court that the suicide bomber was living at a house on the Jayanti Mawata in Kolonava before the attack. The police has been able to come across an array of details pertaining to other elements linked with the terrorist nexus when searching the house in Kolonava. The police also said that the head of the chief suspect is stored at the police mortuary. A request was made from the court to give a date to conduct the post-mortem in connection with his remains. The Ford Magistrates Court ordered the police to report about the progress of the investigations on the 10th of next month. Meanwhile, the CID stated before the Colombo Magistrate Court today that DNA test has been assigned to the government analyst to inquire matching of remains of Shangri-La suicide attacker Ibrahim Ilham with stuff seized from his house. The police is interrogating Muhammad Shaheen Muhammad Rizvi, who had received training with the suicide bomber. The court permitted the police to investigate bank records of Muhammad Rizvi. The CID further informed the court that further investigations are being carried out based on information received from the wife of Mohammed Zaran. The CID was ordered to produce further investigation report on the 10th of the next month. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court ordered the Attorney General to file charges on Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake within 1 month. Ranjan Ramanayake is accused of contempt of court. The case has been filed against the Deputy Minister for making derogatory comment on the court attending a TV program telecast over a private TV channel. Ranjan Ramanayake had stated that the verdict of the 5-member bench will be handed down in favour of his party. The case against the Deputy Minister was taken up before a 3-member judge panel presided by the Chief Justice. Ranjan Ramanayake said that if the statement made by him has caused negative impact on the judiciary, he apologises in this connection. The petition was fixed for trial again on the 30th of next month. It's time for your daily Biz News update.
The Chinese-managed Hambantota port on Sri Lanka's south coast is being positioned as a multi-purpose port with facilities and space to cater to a wide range of industries and services. Hambantota is a well-known historic port, but to the world at large it is relatively new. Hambantota's facilities and services were promoted at Transport Logistics 2019, an international transport and logistic exhibition held in Munich, Germany last week. Hambantota Port is in line with the national vision for port development in Sri Lanka and responds to the Sri Lanka Port Authority's future growth plans for a modern port free of urban restrictions, assuring long-term expansion capacity and a world-standard industrial and logistics zone.
And that's all we have for you today. Do catch us tomorrow at the same time. But till then, you can visit itnnews.lk to be updated with the very latest. I'm Ishara Nautunas. Stay safe, stay blessed, and good night.